This exercise is called the YOGA-PLEX, and it incorporates 3 basic movements. 2 of them are yoga-based, so the downward dog and the yoga cobra, and it also incorporates the spider T rotation. So I do recommend that you have already practiced the spider T rotation movement in workout 5 before you attempt this exercise for best results. You can still attempt this exercise, and if you get it right, then fantastic, good for you. There's a couple of variations, so I'm going to go through a couple of them. One of them is more mobility based, but it's still fairly challenging coordination-wise. And then the other one adds a push-up element into the exercise. So what we want to do first is get into a push-up position. So hands down, right underneath the shoulders. Nice push-up position here. Okay, we're going to go right into a downward dog. And I'm not a yoga instructor, so I will do my best. So we're going to bring the butt up, push your fingertips away from your body so your butt is as high as it can go. Feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings and calf. There should be no low back pain. Then from there, we move right into the spider T rotation, putting your left foot beside your left hand as much as you can, reaching the elbow towards the floor and then up towards the sky. Bring that foot back and then do the other foot. Right foot beside the right hand. Try to touch the right elbow towards the floor and then up towards the sky. Back into push-up position. As slow as you can, lower yourself down, nice and easy, until your body is on the ground. And then just push your upper torso up for a nice stretch. Okay? If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can always go from the forearms and push yourself up from here. Okay? As long as there's no pain, you're in a good position. Okay? To do a second repetition, you just restart. Going back into the downward dog, into the spider T rotation, and then lowering yourself down as slow as you can, and then into a push-up, or into a cobra. Okay? To make this exercise a little bit more challenging, you can add a push-up into it. So what we want to do here is downward dog, lower yourself down to what's called a dive bomber push-up, into a regular stance, and then do the rest of the drill. And now you've added a little bit of a strength, more of a strength element into it. Okay, and that's the YOGA-PLEX. The reason why I want you to lower yourself down nice and slow when you go into that cobra position here, like so, is because that challenge on your muscles is going to actually help you get stronger to be able to do a push-up on the floor, or just, engage those triceps, shoulders, and chest muscles within this drill. So that's the YOGA-PLEX. So this exercise is a variation of the FETTERS split squat called the FETTERS mobility drill. And it's called FETTERS mobility drill because it's named after Alicia Fetters, who presented this mobility drill in a video of hers on Facebook, which I must give credit where credit is due. Before we actually get into the movement, I want to make sure that we're doing the upper body right. So this is how the upper body works, just so that we are really good at coordination. So you can practice this before we get into the whole thing. So all we're going to do is have our hands up like so. We're going to rotate from one side to the other. Then we're going to tilt to one side and to the other. Okay? And then we're going to reach up towards the sky and then reach down towards our toes. Okay? Now we're going to do this in a split stance. So it's this upper body still does the same move, but now we want to get a nice split stance where we feel a bit of a stretch in that hip flexor here. Posture is up nice and tall. Okay? Arms up, and we're just going to rotate from side to side. It's going to test your balance a little bit. Okay? And then the side movement or lateral. Okay? Then reach up towards the sky, and then down towards the toes, trying to keep your back as flat as possible. Okay, so that's the FETTERS mobility drill. This exercise is called the FETTERS split squat, and it's dedicated or credited to Alicia Fetters, who showed this exercise, and I'm just doing a bit of a modification to it, but I'm giving credit where credit is due, calling it the FETTERS split squat. Now, before I show you the entire FETTERS split squat, first of all, we have to learn how to do a regular split squat. So if we don't know how to do that yet, it's good to practice this, and if this is all you need to work on before we get into the FETTERS split squat version, that's okay. So let's learn how to do a split squat. So let's start on the ground. We want our earlobes, shoulder, hip, and knee to be basically in a nice straight line, and we want our back foot, our toe, to be down on the ground. Our front foot, we want to make sure it's about a 90-degree angle, so that way when we stand up, we want the weight distributed evenly between the toe and the heel. We don't want that heel to come up off the ground as we stand up. We want to make sure that it is down on the ground. So a split squat is basically in this position. Pretend like you got a shot glass of your favorite drink on top of your head, and we want to stand straight up and then come back down, okay? If you notice a really big stretch in your hip flexor as we stand up, you might have a too wide of a stance, and then you can just bring your knee in a little bit closer and then find that that might be a better fit for you. Okay? Make sure that your knees are very healthy, and when we lower down in that split squat position, we want to make sure that it's nice and slow and we don't smash your knee on the ground. Okay? So that is a split squat position. That's a split squat exercise. Okay? If this is enough for you of an exercise, then do this, and if you're ready for the next level and do the FETTERS split squat, this is how it's done. So we get in that split squat position, posture up nice and tall, earlobe, shoulder, hip, knee. I notice my knee's a little bit farther back, so I'm just going to move it forward a bit. Okay, and we're going to split squat up and rotate to the right. Split squat, rotate left. Split squat, tilt to the right. Split squat, tilt to the left. Split squat, reach up. Okay. And then split squat, try to keep your back flat, reach towards your toe. Okay. And then finally, split squat, stand up, and then we switch legs. Okay. That would be one repetition on that leg, and then we do the same thing for the next leg, rotating to one side, rotate to the other side, tilt to one side, tilt to the other side, reach up, reach down. That is the FETTERS split squat. Now we can take this to one more level, and we can actually hold the split squat while we do all the movements. So this would be a little bit more of an advanced variation because you're going to get a lot of time under tension on that leg. So we get into that split squat position, bring yourself all the way up, and then come down about halfway, hold it, and then do the rotate to the side, tilt, tilt, reach up, reach down, and then switch sides. So you can do either one of those variations, and that is the FETTERS split squat. No, I'm not lying like this in order to show you my sexy pose. I'm going to show you how to do a side plank with a no money shoulder drill. So a couple of variations here. First of all, we're going to do a kneeling variation and then a variation on our feet. So side plank is all about getting good core strength, but we're also going to get good shoulder stability, and overall it becomes a very good full body exercise. So we want to make sure that we start off with our shoulder alignment here. We want to make sure that our elbow is pretty much right underneath our shoulder. We don't want to be tucked in too much, so that's going to put a lot of pressure on that shoulder. And we don't want to be too far out either, because again, that's going to put a little bit of pressure on that collarbone. So right underneath is perfect. At the end of the day, if there's pain in anything that you do here, don't do this exercise. Once we got our shoulder in place, we want to make sure that we're not down here like so. So pretend like you've got a 1980s hoop earring on your ear, and we want it to make sure that it does not touch that shoulder. So if we're shrugged up like so, we're not in a good position. We want to make sure that we've got enough separation between the head and the ear and the shoulder. So the 1980s hoop earring is a good kind of reminder of that. Okay, once we got our shoulder in correct position, our head is nice and straight, earlobe, shoulder, hip, and then knees all in a nice straight line. Okay, so this is going to get us into a perfect position here. From here, we're going to make sure we plank up onto our hip. Okay, and then from there, we're going to hold it, and then we're going to do some no money. So we're going to put our fist onto our belly, elbow bent at 90 degrees, and we're going to rotate up as high as we can, keeping that elbow as close as we can to the torso. Almost pretend like you got a little pillow right between your elbow and your torso. You can even grab one if you want, and you hold that as you rotate your arm, okay? So this is just getting a little bit of shoulder external rotation, but really what we're doing is using it for a rep count to get time under tension on the plank, okay? So rotating up like so, up to 20 times per side, okay? If you can do that version, the next step is actually do it from the feet. So everything would get back into the same alignment, starting with the earlobes, shoulders, hips, knees, getting yourself up, and then put one leg and the other leg up, and now you're ready to do that side plank, and then same deal, okay? Up to 20 repetitions, okay? Your core here is gonna feel it, your shoulders are gonna feel it, probably gonna get a little bit out of breath or winded, that's okay. What we don't want is lower back pain, and we don't wanna hyperextend where you're going too high and you've got a kind of an angle here, because now you're actually putting too much pressure on that hip and lower back area. So I wanna make sure we're in a nice straight alignment, and then you're able to do those rotations as a rep count, and also to get a little bit more shoulder mobility work on that free arm. All right, so that's the side plank with no monies. Hey everyone, thank you for enduring Andy's workout number 6 with me. I know there's a lot of complex movements in there. Remember, consistency and making progress is key. So if you can't do the maximum amount of repetitions in this workout or any of the Andy's workouts, that's okay. The idea is to work on doing what you can do and trying to make a little bit of progress every week. Being consistent is also very, very key. If you find a certain amount of exercises or certain exercises within the workouts work really, really well for you and you find you're making progress, you don't have to try to do all the exercises or switch up the workouts. If something's working for you, ultimately you're totally welcome to do the same things week in, week out. In fact, being consistent with the same exercise practices for a little while will actually help you get better results than if you were to mix something up every single day. However, if you're the type of person that loves mixing it up and doing different things, and that's what keeps you coming back and keeping you consistent, then do that. Because at the end of the day, if we are being consistent, it is key to success. And of course, if you're enjoying it, the likelihood of you maintaining this lifestyle is going to be very high. And that's really what I want. I want you to maintain a healthy lifestyle that you love and can be consistent with. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until our next video, take care.